Hey everyone, thank you so much for hopping on today. We will get started in just a couple minutes. And Francesca or Baltimore, anyone from the Homestead team, if you just want to give me the thumbs up when we feel like we have enough people in the meeting, I'm ready to get started whenever.
Okay. We'll give it to like 3 more minutes.
Sounds good. Okay, looks like we're 5 minutes in. Feeling ready to start?
Yeah, we can start, Henry. It's being recorded, so if anything, we'll just send out the recording to the people that couldn't make it.
Totally. Okay. Perfect. And sorry, 1 minute. I know I see the icon. Let me make sure that it is recording actually. Just give me 1 minute, then we'll get started. Okay, looks like
Um,
we're good to go.
Henry, before we get started, I did want to highlight that we did change our CIP template from previous years. Does this session go into that, or is just like going over the slides?
It will. Yep, we will go into the real instance and take a look at that template. Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for hopping on today. Today we will be reviewing the CIP budget in OpenGov. So this is somewhat of a repeat from last year's training, but the system has changed a little bit. The look and feel of it has changed. Um, and the process has slightly changed as well. So thank you all for hopping on today. For an agenda for today's meeting, we will start off by talking about the OpenGov Cloud, what it is, kind of, where this is all going to go. Then we'll talk through our budget training. So the first half of this training will be in slide decks. The second half is going to be me live demonstrating the tool. At that point, if you want to log in, follow along, please feel free to. But you'll have this slide deck to refer back to as well as the recording. So as you're entering these requests, feel free to reference either of those resources. I'll pause kind of periodically for any questions that we may have. Otherwise, you can drop questions in the chat, or we will have time reserved at the end for that as well. Okay, well, let's dive right into it here. So the first piece is going to be kind of logging in here. Well, actually, the first piece is going to be OpenGov Cloud. So what the OpenGov Cloud is it's a way to kind of capture everything budget related in one place, right? We're going to enter our budget requests, our capital budget requests in OpenGov. That will then be brought into reports and analyzed. We'll determine what we can fund and what we can't fund. And all that is going to be shared in a budget book, public facing at the end of the day. So it's going to move from an internal process like requesting capital budget items all the way to a public facing document like the budget book in one solution. Now, the first step in kind of getting into this capital budget is going to be to logging into OpenGov. So there's a number of ways to do that. You can navigate to controlpanel.opengov.com. That will take you to a login screen where you can log in using your email and password. If you can't remember your password, you can use the forgot password button down here. Otherwise, if you're able to log in during the session today, or if you're having trouble logging in today, drop that in the chat and I can kind of help resend that password link to you. Then what we're going to do is click into the budgets tool and make sure we're in the FY26 capital improvement plan. So apologies, the budget tool actually doesn't look like this anymore. It will look more like this. So at the very top here, there's going to be a budgets button, and that's where you'll click into to gain access. Okay. Now, once you're logged into OpenGov and in the correct budget instance, then the first step, this first process is going to be for updating existing projects. Any project that has been processed or requested in previous years and is maybe going to receive funding in the future will already have an existing proposal. So for those requests, what we'll need to do is click into that proposal and update the amounts for 26 through FY30. You can do that by clicking into the proposal right here, by clicking on the name. And the first step is going to be to updating the proposal details. So once you're in a proposal, you can click in this little document button in the top left corner and then press edit. And that's going to take you to this page here with all the proposal details. Now, Francesca, I believe I just called out that this is changed this year. There are new fields in this document. Francesca, anything to add to that note?
Yes. So, whenever you guys have a chance, please go into that template. If you even have a chance to kind of review it while Henry's explaining, I would really appreciate it. Please go ahead and see all the required fields that you will have to enter. This is very, very important to be able to come up with a robust CIP plan. Um, I don't have that. Sorry, Sherry, I'm reading your. Okay. You don't have the edit button.
Hey, Francesca, I think that could be related to the proposals being in review. We may need to set those statuses back to in progress for them to get that edit button.
Okay, I'm gonna check into that now. But
Okay.
so yeah, the template has changed a lot from last year, so please go ahead and review it whenever you have a chance and let me know if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Guys, my screen doesn't look anything like that.
Are you in a proposal as well?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I'm on budgeting and planning, and
make
then
sure that you have fiscal year 26 on the top.
uh,
It defaults to fiscal year 25. I'm not sure why that happens, but make sure that on the top icon it says fiscal year 26.
how do I change that? Because what I
Yeah.
see here is budgeting and planning.
Henry's highlighting it and in the template.
Yeah,
Yeah, but my screen doesn't look like that. That's
I'm on mine's just like Cairo, but I have an editing lock on mine's where I can't even open that.
Okay. What are you seeing on your screen, Cairo, here then?
what I'm seeing. I guess when you start from the top, right, it says
Mhm.
budgeting and planning, and then it has budgets, reports, stories, initiatives, transparency, and data. Underneath
Okay.
that, you have the three horizontal menu with ZC support FY 2025 proposed budget dash copy. And then
Okay.
under that, I see your tabs, overview, proposal, worksheet, line item. I'm in proposal, but again, on the top it says ZZ support FY 2025.
So you don't have a fiscal year 26 capital improvement plan option.
If I click on the horizontal menu bar, uh, this this panel opens up from the left.
Hmm.
And the panel on the top says budget, then it says budget name with a search bar, then yellow box that says uncategorized COA codes present. Please review uncategorized COA codes present, default chart, da 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 da. Then under that, it has a bunch of selections. Let me see, 2025, 30, and then, oh, fiscal year 26 capital improvement plan. I see that one. So click on that one.
Yep.
Yes.
Click into that one.
All right. Proposal. Okay, now I somewhat see what you're seeing. I mean, it's a different screen, but yeah, I see what you're seeing now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, and Eddie, you said what was your issue? Sorry.
He said his edit
I'm
button was
on it. I
locked.
had that lock. I was on the same screen that Cairo, so I was just following, his movement. So I'm on the same page as he is.
Okay, so you do have access to the edit then, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, sounds good.
So I'm sorry, this is Derek. I'm experiencing difficulty as well. Yeah, goodness gracious.
Okay, what is it,
So
what is
I,
it that you're
I believe
experiencing?
I clicked on the correct one,
Uh-huh.
budget, capital improvement 2026. When I click on that, I come to create proposal. I don't see this, what you have displayed at all.
You just see this
Let's
button in the
see.
top right.
Let me see. Let me go here. So when I look on proposal, I just have, well, that's for my department, so I get it's applicable for my two line items. Okay.
Correct, correct.
Mhm.
You only see what's applicable to your department.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Looks like Francesca, Jenny might have a problem in the chat there. Looks like she might not have access to the CIP.
I don't see the CIPs under proposals. I only have the actual budget. Are you in the fiscal year 26 capital improvement plan, Jenny? Because when you say I only have the actual budget, so you only have operating?
I can't speak to Jenny, but I know on mine, I've been messing around with it and trying to look around, but it's only showing me the proposed budget, but it's not showing me anything for capital improvement.
Maybe let me try sending the link to the capital budget in the chat here.
Yeah.
If everyone can try opening that link, that should take you directly to the correct budget instance. Some of you all might be seeing something that looks
No permission.
no permission. Okay. Then Francesca, I think what's happening is they're not in the edit access information here. They may not be in a group or have access on this side.
So Jenny is on a group. She's in parks. And
Okay,
then
so Jenny can see it after the link.
and Jenny's in that parks, so
Looks like Jenny said she's okay in the chat.
okay, now I see after the link. Okay, so okay, so Jose, let me look at yours. Since you're new, you may
You forgot about me. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Francesca, if you go to his user account and add him to a group, that should update everything automatically.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now.
Perfect. Okay.
It could be since my department's new that it doesn't have maybe
I
a
mean,
group.
he's in a group. He's in the code compliance group. Let me see if it's just not there, it looks like.
Yeah. Do you want me to go ahead and add
Yeah.
that now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jose, that just means you can't buy any cattle.
I
There you
want to
go.
refund.
Jose, just if you can
Refresh.
refresh the page, or if not, sign out and sign back in.
This is Barbara. I also show that I'm not in any group.
Oh, Barbara, but you're my favorite department. You are in a group.
Good to go.
And-
Yeah, it shows that you're here. Go to electric, Henry.
Yep, I see you in there.
Oh, okay.
Did you click on the link, Barbara, that Henry just sent in the chat?
Yes.
Okay.
And it said I wasn't in any group, so I went and selected electric, and I don't know if I have to click anything.
Oh, that's kind of a weird one. It's telling you weren't in a group.
Well, it says I have been updated, so maybe I'm in a group now.
Okay. I guess anyone else at the top here having trouble seeing? I think we'll need to work through the edit a little bit more, but that's okay.
You know what it is, Barbara? If you still don't have access, come see me, or we'll talk after, because you have two usernames.
Hmm.
It may be because you're logged in from the new username instead of the old one. Because remember how we changed like email addresses? So I see that 2 minutes ago you logged in under your new one, and then your cityofhomestead.com one was the one that you logged in. I'm not sure if that has something to do with it, but
Okay, perhaps.
yeah. So we'll talk after. I'm gonna look into it after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Perfect. And Francesca, to move everything back to in review here, we can, or in progress, we can do that on kind of the bulk level at the bottom here. Into view reset options, we can set everything back to in progress, just so everybody has
Okay.
the right access.
Gotcha.
I'll go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
But for the people at the beginning who said they didn't see the edit button on this page, if you refresh your screen now and click back into that proposal, you should now see that edit button.
Oh, Barbara, try again.
So Sherry, if you want to give me a thumbs up that you're seeing that edit button now. Okay, perfect, perfect.
And thank you, Frankie, I'm in.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
Okay, great. Well, let's keep going here. So once you've updated your proposal details for that project,
I'm sorry, team. I'm sorry. I don't see an edit button. I have manage columns and create proposal. And then under that,
Derek, you'll need to click into a proposal here. Right now you're on this page. If you click into a proposal, then you can click on this document button, and then you can click the edit button.
I think the issue Derek is having is the same as mine. We don't have anything on the proposals.
so when you say click on the proposal and then document button, what was
Mhm.
that? I'm sorry, I was.
Yeah, do you see anything in under this
Yes,
list
I
here?
have that. So I have that. I clicked on one of those. I had two.
Okay, yep. If you clicked in one of these, now you're seeing a page like this.
Yes.
Okay, if you click in this little document button up top here,
Okay.
then you can click edit.
Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Of
We're going
course.
through the steps again.
Yeah. Jose, that might be a deeper problem. Looks like we don't have any projects associated with your group.
Guys, regardless, we will not be editing these proposals. Unfortunately, since we changed the template, these will have to be re-entered if they will be continue to be expanded or funded in the upcoming years. So regardless, if you have the editing feature or not, that template is no longer valid. We have a new template. And OpenGov has informed us that there is no way we can copy and paste, essentially. It's like you would have to re-enter the information for the upcoming years if that project is going to be continued.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so that's this new template here.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the administration wanted something a little bit more robust with some additional information. And unfortunately, there was no way of editing the existing template. Our understanding is we had to create a new template, and therefore everything has to basically be re-entered, because I don't believe OpenGov has a way of transferring information from one template to the other. At least that's our understanding.
Yeah, that is correct. Maybe we can work a little bit more offline after the training here, because if it's just adding new fields, that you should be able to make that update within the existing template. Now, if you're changing fields altogether, that's when data would need to be re-entered. But we can discuss that further offline here. Okay. Now, what we will need to be doing is updating the worksheet amounts, right? The budget per year here. So to do that, what you want to do is click into the worksheet tab here within your proposal homepage, and then click into a worksheet. Once you're in a worksheet, you should be seeing a page like this that has all the line items. You can update the amounts per year in the adjustment input column here. Now, if there are grayed out, kind of like this, what that means is that there's an itemization applied to this line item. And an itemization just a way to break out costs, right? You can give a unique description to each of the individual costs. Now, to do that, to expand the itemization, you can press the little arrow down here. Then you'll see the rows of itemizations will appear below that line. Okay. Now, the goal, the number to focus on here is in the proposed column. Okay, this is the big important number. This is the final number that's going to be submitted. You'll make adjustments to the base to change your proposed amount. When you're working in a regular line item that does not have an itemization, the sum of the base plus the adjustment input will become the proposed amount. So if in this example, right, if this was not an itemized line, if I had an adjustment of $404,000, my proposed amount would be $780 or $750,000, right? Now, in an itemized line, the budget math works a little bit differently. In an itemized line, the sum of the itemizations will become the proposed amount. Then you can go ahead and resubmit your proposals here. So that is back on the home page of the budget of the proposal. In the top right corner, there's going to be a submit proposal button. Then you can fill that out or add a note if you'd like to, and press update to submit that proposal. That will move it from the in progress to in review status, and you will have view only access to that proposal.
Will that move it to the department head for their review? That won't submit it to finance, correct?
That will submit it to finance. That's kind of the final step there, is to press submit on the proposal. So if it needs to go to a department head first, we'll want to review it with them before pressing submit. Okay. Any other questions on or adjusting our current proposals? Next, we'll go through submitting a new proposal.
So Henry, forgive me. Could you go to the step before you say submit proposal? How we get there again?
Yeah, how do we get to this page?
So there, I'm there
Okay.
on that page.
And you want to try and submit?
Yes, and then how you moved it to go to submit. What you said.
Yeah. Yep. So what you'll do is you'll press that done button in the top right corner.
Okay, okay,
Then you should see that submit button.
okay.
Guys, essentially, because a lot of people, and I know I had a hard time understanding this, so I just want to kind of reiterate it to everyone. A proposal and a worksheet are the same but different. So like a worksheet is where you enter your figures and your account numbers and all that good stuff. And the proposal is the details for your capital improvement project. So you have to complete a proposal and complete a worksheet in order to submit a project. Just kind of wanted to highlight that because some people get confused on the two. So
And for, yeah, and for everybody to add to that, what we have all been used to, for those of you that have been here before, what you're used to saying when we say the 5-year CIP plan, it's usually what the worksheet kind of has. It's the project, and you see the dollar amounts going out for 4 or 5 years. The current administration wants to have something more substantial with the CIP. So therefore, the narrative section, which in the past may have been not given its due respect, so to speak, where they're asking you for the project justification and description, please, we ask you that you really pay attention to the information you put in there, because what the expectation is going to be that at the end of this process and budget process, not only are we going to have an operating budget book, but there will probably be a separate capital, a CIP book that'll have those narratives and the financial information. So the narratives, like Frankie was saying, is really what we're calling the proposals. The worksheet is what has the dollar amounts that we've traditionally seen in the, when you've seen the budget book and you've seen that spreadsheet at the end. So that's the differentiation between the two.
Henry, also, like if you can highlight when they add the account numbers to the worksheets, there was several issues last year when you add an account number, it added accounts, if you don't click on the right buttons when you're adding account codes, it can mess the worksheet up. Meaning it can go ahead and add more line items than what you had anticipated in adding. And I can highlight that if you do show the team that. But I just want to just kind of reiterate to everyone, please make sure when you're adding your accounts to your worksheets that you're paying very close attention to what you are adding there.
Yes,
And if you, yeah.
yeah, please, because unfortunately last year inadvertently, I think somebody added like 150 lines or more that we didn't need. So
And was that part of the new request when they're building a worksheet in the new request?
What do you mean?
Would that be for an existing project or only for a new request where we saw that problem arise?
they were on, I think they were all new last year. They were inputting
Yeah.
new last year, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they will be inputting it new this year because they
Right.
have to
Yeah.
create a new proposal. So they will be doing it again.
Definitely. Yep. And I think that's a great segue here. So let's jump on to the next piece, requesting new projects. Because we have a new tool that we enabled that should help with that process a little bit more. I think where that problem arises is the project code becomes a problem, right? We add line items for all the project codes for an expense. That will not be limited for the proposal. So let's take a look at that. So this is the process for requesting a new project or building a new proposal. To do this, you'll want to start on the home page of the budget instance, right? Click all the way back out to the proposals tab. From here, we're going to create a brand new proposal. So you'll press the create proposal button up top here. This screen will appear, this kind of pop-up will appear. You'll want to follow this naming convention for the proposal title. So it's going to be the department name and the name of the requested project. And you'll always want to select this new proposal template, the COH FY26 Capital Projects New Request template. Now, when you press next, once you've entered the title and selected that template, when you press next, you're going to be taken to a screen that looks like this. And I think this is the new piece, Francesca and Carlos. So in here, you'll select the project code. You'll always select that 000 no project code for these new requests. Okay. At that point, your proposal is created. We still have to build a worksheet, right? But you're at this point able to begin entering your narrative, your updated narrative to that new template. And that process is the same, right? You'll click into that proposal. You'll click into the document button up top here and into edit. And then you'll see the new updated questions as part of that template. Once you have those details filled out, then we'll need to create a worksheet. And to do that, you'll click on the worksheet tab here. Then you'll either press create a worksheet down here or at the top, add worksheet. Those two buttons will do the same thing. You'll get a pop-up screen that looks like this first. So you'll want to name that worksheet the same name as the proposal, right? The name of your department, then the name of the requested project. This will be an expense worksheet. So you'll select expenses here. And then you can press next. Now, when you press next, this is kind of the scary screen, right? This is where you're going to select your worksheets. Now, what's nice with the new tool is it will only allow you to use new project codes or no project codes. It won't allow you to select any other account strings that are associated with another project. So from here, what you'll need to do is select the correct fund and department for your project.
Henry, one thing that I have noticed is that the function is, so essentially our functions are doubled. So like our function in that shows up also in the expenses side. So let's say our function is 519.
Mhm.
Our expenses will show 519 519.6030. So you have to click on that 519.6030 in order to import that correct expense code. If they do not click on 519, it'll do 520, 530, you know, that's where the problem kind of lies. Is that
Oh,
is that expense section doubles the function. So yeah,
okay,
yeah, that's
okay.
what I noticed would be an issue. Like if the departments do not pay attention into entering the correct function in the expense portion, it will import different things or a lot of like expenses that don't necessarily pertain to their department.
Got it. Yeah, let's take a look at that in the live example here. I've just got a couple more slides here. Once you have your, everything selected, right? You want to select the correct fund, the correct department and function. Then you'll hit create worksheet. That will,
Excuse me.
bless you.
Thank you.
That will pull in the correct line item, right? You should only be seeing one of these. If you need to add more, you can do that in the add items button up top, and then add the account string within that pop-up.
So I find that my that's the feature that I like better is to like add the items from this screen versus the other screen, but you can't bypass the other screen, right, Henry?
Right. You do have to
Yeah.
make some sort of selections on that screen. Yep.
Correct, yeah.
Once you have the correct account strings in your worksheet, then you can go ahead and begin entering amounts for each year. Okay, so it's the same functionality. You can add itemizations by pressing the plus button here. But this is kind of building that 5-year plan, right? All the amounts in here are going to be reflected in that 5-year plan. Once you've entered your amount, you can click back out to the home page of that proposal and submit that proposal for review. Or, notify your department head that's ready for review. Once they've reviewed it, they can go ahead and submit that proposal. I'm going to jump into the instance now and kind of walk through that process with you, building out a new request. Any questions before I do so? Okay. Well, let's do it then. So I'm going to jump over to the capital improvement plan. First thing to remember, right, is to always work in the correct plan. You want to verify this is the budget that you're working in. Then to create a new request, you're going to come over to this create proposal button. We'll give the proposal a name, right? So our naming convention is going to be the department followed by the request name. So maybe I'm the Parks Department requesting a new playground. For the proposal template, I'm always going to use this FY26 new request template.
Excuse me, Henry.
Yeah.
My apologies. Is there any way that you can go back and edit the proposal title?
Yes, there is. Yep. I can show you how to do that in just a minute here.
Okay.
Once you have this filled out, you'll go ahead and hit next. And you're going to select that no project code. Once you have that selected, then you can go ahead and hit create. At this point, it's going to pull you into that proposal. The first step is going to be to go into the proposal details, right at the top right corner here, that little document button, and hit edit. And Derek, this is where you can adjust the proposal name using this little pencil icon right next to the name of the top. But this is the updated template. So the requesting department, division, and project title are required. We'll also need the project total cost and the years broken out. Questions whether it's a new or replacement purchase, possible funding sources, the priority listing by the department, project location, the type, start date, completion date. All these are going to be required fields. You won't be able to submit your proposal unless those are filled in. And at the very bottom here, Sherry, under supporting documents, this is where you can attach any kind of photos or documents, and that is highly encouraged as part of your request.
Henry, if I can, if you notice the very last line, here it says strategic plan alignment. For this budget year, you don't have to worry about that. What we're going through now, which is developing the strategic plan, hopefully we'll have one. And then when we're developing the fiscal year 27 budget, then these will be elements that you want to align your CIPs with, as well as the operating budget will have elements that are going to request alignment with those strategic plans. But for this year, just it's there for the future. You don't have to worry about it for this budget year.
Yeah, great call out.
For those of you, and we've established that we believe that we're going to have to recreate all these in the new template unless Henry can work a miracle and find out a way where we can amend the existing template to include all these features without having to duplicate it. But if you have to, and we believe you do, for those projects that already exist and have a CP number assigned to it, please make sure that you include that in the title. For those that are brand new that you're creating, they won't have a CP number. Finance will be assigning a number in the future. And one thing that we're going to be doing differently this year than we have in the past is if it's a project, literal project infrastructure, something like that, it'll probably bear a number like CP 2501. If it's the purchase of equipment, which we have a lot of those in the capital plan, those will probably be numbered CE 2501, just to differentiate between what's a project and what's the purchase of equipment.
Henry, if you can scroll down just a little bit, where it's the description, technical description, project description. So just a tad bit up.
Yep.
So here we have we're requesting two separate descriptions. And if you know underneath them, Henry, if you could highlight like those small little help areas. Yeah, exactly. So the city manager's office, the first project description is kind of a short customer facing project description. That's what the public is going to see. The second one is a much more detailed technical description. But I encourage, and kind of what we've been hearing is the more detail, the better for these kind of projects, is because, if you just say playground, that's not helpful to the public. We are replacing the playground or exercise equipment in this park so that the public can start to see and understand what the actual project is and what is going to be replaced or what is new to the project. So be mindful and be very descriptive. Carlos, you want to add to that in any shape or form?
No, it's like I said again, is consider the fact that we will probably be putting out a book, a CIP book, and these narratives and this description will probably be included in there. So keep that in mind and make it useful.
Perfect. Okay. So once you have your proposal details completed, then we can go ahead and build our worksheet. So to do that, I'm going to click back to the home page of the proposal here. And I did that just by pressing the done button up here. Then we'll click into the worksheet tab here. And we'll add a worksheet either by create a worksheet button down here or add a worksheet at the top. Those two buttons will do the exact same thing. Our worksheet name is going to be the same name as the proposal. So this is going to be Parks, New Playground. And on this screen, this is where we're going to need to select the correct fund, department, function, and expense codes. So if I select, let's say this is going to be a, I don't know, general fund project in the search for parks here. Parks and Rec department. And let's see if there's a parks function in here. We'll see if that comes up with anything. So once you've made those selections, then we can go ahead and hit create worksheet. Okay, it looks like that did not bring up any line items.
I can give you a function and I
Should
can
be
give you an-
572.
Yeah, please, 1 minute. Let me get over there.
So like, yeah. So that kind of goes to my,
Yeah,
just be very careful in selecting your account numbers. So you can do Fund 001.
Okay.
Department is 6010. $572 would be the function. And you can do yeah, no project. And then 60, let's see.
Do 60/30, maybe?
Yeah, 60/30. Yep, 60/30. No, so okay, Henry. So this is the part where I'm like, okay, you got to do like the 572.60-30. Well, that'll probably come up like that too, but okay, you see that? Like, okay, in the expenses section. Like if-
yeah.
okay, like go up to the little bar where you typed.
Mhm.
So you got to do 572.60 and then -30. Okay, team. So like this, for example, if you do not pay attention and you click on everything that shows in capital outlay, it's going to be a problem. You have to kind of be very careful in selecting that. So like 572.60-30. Or there's another way you can do it. You don't have to just do one by one. You would have to look at HTE and see what accounts pertain to your department, because not all the 60s pertain to your department. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but hopefully, like if you have any questions, please come see me. But like, for example, Parks has 60/30, has 60/25, but does not have 60/27. So you see that 60/27 in the middle there? If Parks were to have highlighted everything that shows in capital, it would be an issue because you would not be able to create that worksheet. You would have to look at HTE or AS400 and see what capital accounts pertain to your department and highlight each one, and then you can create the worksheet. Or you could do it one by one, like how we have it selected here, and then just add it as you need it.
Yep. And adding it as needed would be using this add item up here.
Correct, yeah.
Then you can type in the codes.
Yes, so I would suggest, my suggestion is add the one account to your worksheet to get it started, and then add as needed, because if you go ahead and start clicking stuff and then adding, you're gonna run into issues of not being able to create that worksheet if you just click on something that does not pertain to your department. So yeah, Henry, I gotta put the function in the beginning. So like 572, yeah. Trust me, I'm a pro at this.
Okay. So then from here, right, you can add amounts as needed to each year. Maybe, I want to break out my costs. Maybe in the first year, we're going to do design. The second year, we're going to do construction. I'm going to add 2 itemizations here. Maybe the first year of design is going to cost me $50,000. And the second year of the construction is going to cost $200,000.
And I'm sorry, Henry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Team, please go ahead and make sure that tab that says fiscal year 26 adjustments, please make sure that you are entering the right figures there. Next to it is fiscal year 27. If you scroll more towards the right, it'll have fiscal year 28, fiscal year 29, and all that good stuff. Please make sure that you are entering the correct figures for the correct year and not just like kind of like blindly entering or okay, yeah, for 5 years, I'm going to do 500,000 and just entering it into fiscal year 26. Break it out in terms of your tabs.
Frankie, just a quick question. For a project that's going to have design and construction, they're 2 separate account numbers.
He's correct. Sherry's correct. I was going to say the same thing.
So
In
they
that case,
have to, how would you do that?
You're going to add it's a 60 account. You're going to add another line item there. That's what I was referring to earlier, is that you're adding 60/30. Let's say that that's your construction, and then the design is, I don't know, 60/25. You're going to add the account number here, and you're going to put 100,000 in construction, 100,000 for design in fiscal year 26, if that's what you're asking for in fiscal year 26.
Could you go ahead and show us an example of that, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. So let's delete this out. And then what is this one? So this is capital outlay other than building. Let's add one for,
Let's do land improvements.
land improvements. Okay.
Okay, so land improvements is 572.6015.
15.
Yeah.
So you would add that item here, right, based on the expense code that you know from HGE. That will bring
Yeah.
in 2 rows here
Correct.
to differentiate the costs.
And remember that tab in the top, you can't see it because it's kind of cut off, but just make sure that you're going all the way to the left and doing fiscal year 26 and not just, yeah. Yeah, if you can highlight that little thing. So make sure there, Sherry, you have your 2 account numbers, you have your adjustment input for both. Okay, and you can add an itemization, if you're gonna put 2, I don't know, expenses for 60/15, 2 different ones, and you want to differentiate with an itemization, you can do that too.
a good example, and I don't know if Pedro's on here, but I know people from Parks are. Let's say that Parks was going to do a brand new park, say 3 years from now. So their account numbers may be, one, the purchase of land, that might be in 1 year. Then the second year, maybe some kind of design. The third year, maybe the construction, which would be a land improvement, and then maybe some other equipment. So that's an example where you could have numerous account numbers, over different years for the same project. Another example would be for new equipment or new vehicle that's being brought on to the fleet. If you're doing a replacement, all we care about is the cost, because our position is that's going to be what the outlay is. If you're replacing and the old car is going to be going to surplus or it's going to be auctioned off, then the only real impact on the expenses is the purchase. We're going to assume that your fuel and your insurance and everything else will remain the same. If it's a brand new vehicle that you're bringing on to the fleet, let's say for a new employee or something like that, then you may want to consider those other operating, which would be operating expenditures. The capital would be the vehicle itself, but then let's say, there's going to be fuel. We want to consider that because that's going to have an impact on the budget. It's not just the capital purchase, but what impact will it have for your operations as well? Those are examples of where you'd have maybe additional accounts that you would put in there. But for the rest of you, the majority may be just design and construction. So maybe 2 accounts, you know, and that may be over numerous years. So
Carlos, just a quick question on, let's say, for example, vehicles that we're doing a replacement vehicle, you're still going to have other expenses such as tag and the registration and some pass or whatever is needed for that vehicle. You want that included? And are we able to, what type of percentage do we tack on? Because, you know, it's going to be, we're doing it now, but October 1st, the pricing changes.
right, we've talked about that, and I think I spoke to Ralph, and we're thinking of anywhere between maybe 5 and 10. I haven't considered any more. I know prices can change, but we know that at least comfortably, we can probably say add 10% to whatever quote you're getting on a vehicle. The idea being is that a lot of the quotes that we're getting now for vehicles are off contracts, state contracts, but on October 1st, those state contracts will be new one, so we know that the prices are going to change. So I think 10%, unless I hear otherwise.
I think procurement, Carlos had sent something out saying 7%, if I'm not mistaken.
For purchases of vehicles? Okay, well, we'll find it when we'll
Okay.
share that with the group to confirm it. But yeah, it's a good question. You know, for vehicle, whatever quotes we're gonna get, you're going to be allowed to put a cushion on that quote.
Carlos, I did some research on some of those items for getting new vehicles, and they estimated between 7 to 12%.
Okay, so then I think 10, so I think 10 would be good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ralph.
No
Appreciate
problem.
Okay. Now, once the amounts are added, that's when you'll go press the done button here. And this update status button will say submit proposal for you. Then you can press submit proposal, add a note if you'd like to, and press update to submit that proposal.
Henry, if I can jump in again for something else. If you're planning on getting something funded with a grant, but obviously you don't have the grant yet, then for one, we're not going to be able to let you put it as a fiscal year 26 capital improvement because you don't have the funding in place. So we're probably going to request that you push it out 1 year. At least it's in the CIP. We can always do an amendment to bring it forward if you get the grant. And because it's a grant and we don't have it set up as an account number, what we're requesting is that you use any of your existing departmental accounts that are a capital account. Okay, so for instance, let's assume that for the same parks that he's going after a grant, we're going to request just put that same account number that exists in your budget now. But at the beginning where we were talking about the proposals and it talks about funding source, if you put there grant is going to be the expected funding source, then that at least lets us know, okay, they're seeking a grant for it. So we know that eventually, even though they have that general ledger account in there, the idea is that if they do get the grant, then that'll be funded out of the grant fund. But you need to enter an account number. And if you're expecting it to be a grant, we don't have an account number for you. We're suggesting you do that. Same thing as for water and sewer. There's an expectation that we may be funding some of these out of bonds or the state revolving fund. We don't have that yet. We don't know if we'll get it, but we're budgeting under the assumption that we might be getting it. For now, put one of your general ledger accounts in the front where it talked about the proposal and it talked about the funding source. That's where you would be put, you know, bonds or grant or whatever that other source of funding that we think it's going to be. Okay, but you have to put in this worksheet, you have to put a valid account number. So we can't put something that we don't know what it's going to be in the future. Use an existing account, but your trigger is going to be where you're putting the funding source. That's what's kind of letting us know, oh, this may change.
Okay.
You have, if you're public works or police or parks, you also have impact fees available to you. Obviously, you would use the impact fee fund if you're partially funding it with impact fees or maybe funding it with general fund. Then again, you would put those two accounts in there that would be the funding sources for it.
How would we know what funding is available for that?
What do you mean, Sherry?
The amount?
The amount that's available in your public works impact fees?
For next year, yes.
Oh, okay, well, we'll let you guys know what's there. Because we do, I mean, there was an expectation too that when you guys are putting together projects that you try to tap into those impact fee funds and use, you know, use those funds up because they do have a sunset of 7 years. I'm sorry, Henry, I'll turn it back to you.
No, that's okay. That is actually all that I have for you today. So I will make sure that this recording gets over to you as well as the slide deck. But Carlos and team, I think I'll send you an email this afternoon. Maybe we can get some times on the book for later this week to take a look at that template and any other issues we may have in the capital budget.
So then for now, would it be safe to let the group know, work on, well, yeah, I guess the new ones would be fine because the template that's there would be for new projects. But if
Yeah.
we decide to do anything with the existing ones, maybe to hold off until we can advise them and we've spoken to you. Okay.
Agreed. Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Any
Great.
questions, guys? Don't be shy.
Not on my end. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.